Okay, welcome to our channel.
Say hi.
You gonna say hi? All right, so we're gonna just kind of briefly go over. We're now in South Africa. We have reached our destination. We're in Johannesburg, in an area called Santon, and we're just gonna go over our our process to getting here. And what it was like. A little bit about the visa process for those who are interested, who may be considering relocation to the beautiful country of South Africa. Okay, and so essentially, we started the process earlier this year in February, right?
Oh no, we made our decision to start the process.
Oh, in February,
Yeah,
yeah,
we didn't
February,
start until March, like
March
with the visa
with the
company,
visa company.
law firm.
Okay, so I mean, we've been planning this, preparing for this journey for years, actually. But as far as the actual execution of setting things in motion, we started in March. We consulted with an immigration law firm here in South Africa. I believe it's called Smith and Company. We'll put a name of it in the description
Yeah, we'll
and
put all that information in the bottom.
in the bottom. And so we were given, good. Basically, they gave us good guidance on.
Yeah, yeah, guidance. Like so, they actually, she gives you the lady we have was Leetasha. So she'll give you like a form, a very thorough questionnaire that you need to answer, and with your answers, what she does is basically map what visa will best fit you to get there with no problem. So I know for us, we wanted to do the business visa since I was already connected with a business here, but they want a significant amount of money, and it takes time to get it. What's that word I'm thinking? To get it reconsidered to be lower. So we decided we're going to do the remote visa, and then from there we'll move on to another visa.
And what you mean is there's a certain amount of money you have to have in your
Yeah.
account
Yeah.
for
Dedicated
business.
for the business.
Yeah, for the
Not
business.
necessarily you have to spend it right away. It's just dedicated for the business. Yeah.
Right, right. So, and that visa is like a 5-year visa. And so, what we decided upon, we looked at a couple of other options. There's other visa options that you don't really hear people talk a lot about. Like, there's an artist visa,
Yeah.
and that's a visa for people who are artists. Writers, anything that's artistic. There's an opportunity to have a visa for that. It lasts 3 years. Of course, you can renew it. And someone that I came upon a blog, somebody writing a blog, had mentioned that she had an artist visa. And as a matter of fact, I had reached out to that blogger, and that blogger recommended us to the immigration law firm. So then there's all kind of visas. There's student visas. There are critical skills visas for people who have, people who are in professions where you don't find there's a shortage or a deficit of certain skill sets in South Africa. So they're, in a sense, kind of recruiting you, basically, enticing you to come on a critical skills visa. There's workers visas, student visas, and our visa, the visa we use, is a remote workers visa.
Yeah.
And also sometimes called a digital nomad visa. So this is for people who work online and they want to, move here, live here. And you want to tell them a little bit more about that visa, or?
No, well, first I just want to say that it's one of those processes that take your time. Don't rush. I know a lot of other expats kind of said, "Oh, you can do this on your own." You can, but from our experience and being a family and working and all that extra stuff that you're doing, it's actually best to have a professional who knows the wording behind everything, what they're looking for. There's some stuff on the list. I know if you go onto the South African immigration website, they'll have a list, right? And some things on the list is actually, there's some things that are not on the list that they actually add to it. And it just gives you a full, complete package, because they do everything. You just collect some stuff that they want you to do, you send it over, they create the whole package per person. So it was a family of 4 per person, and she actually mails it to you. And then she'll go over each page, every single page, line by line, to make sure everything is okay. You sign what needs to be signed, add in what needs to be added, and that's it. And then you're ready to go. So I would advise that you do use a professional. I just wouldn't advise anyone to do it by themselves. Not that you can't. It's just that I have found that many people who have done it on their own always have to do it again. So I would advise to use a firm. I know. So what's the other firm that people was talking about? IBN. They're very expensive. I'm not saying not to use them, but they're very expensive. But Smith and Co. is very reasonable. And I'm just going to be transparent. I think we spent around 2,800 for family of 4 for immigration. So I'm Haitian, so anything immigration I can tell you is not 2,800 outside of that. So to have that price was pretty great. IBN is pretty expensive. I think there was around 4,800 they quoted us.
It was higher than that.
It was around 7,000.
Something like
yeah,
that.
around 7,000. So you got the money, go ahead, do it, but they're going to do the same work for the 2,800. I'm just saying. So, but use your discretion, do your homework. Interview both companies and see which one fits best for you, and then you go from there. But we use them. And in regards to what you wanted me to say about the process, or
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about it. Like the requirement for a digital nomad visa
Okay.
is that you have to get a letter from your employer, stating that you're allowed to work.
now wait. So there's
go
two
back.
types. Like,
Okay.
so if you work for someone, then you need an employer letter stating that they could care less that you move out of the country. But if you are self-employed, it's just slightly different. They'll need, rather than 3 months bank statement, they'll need 6 months bank statements and all that little extra stuff. So, but she will walk you through that as well. So it's not a big deal.
Right.
And you need to make around what, 20,
No, it was $3,500 a month,
35?
wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I believe it was $3,500 per month.
Okay, I think so.
Yeah, it was like
35 or 34. It's gonna be around. It's between 32 and 35
between
32
32 and 3,500
3,500
US dollars per month,
per month.
which will get you
I'm pretty sure it's
qualified
like 32.
for that
Yeah.
visa. And let me think, what else? I mean, as I stated, there's other visas, that you can look
Yeah.
into. But for that particular one, the one that we signed up, you just for a household from your digital work, 3,200 a month. And I know that we had to submit like a medical record,
Medical record, FBI.
an FBI criminal background check. I know with the medical record, that was pretty easy for me to obtain.
Yeah.
I know that once we got to the embassy, however, the medical documents or medical records that was sent to, or it was like a medical form that your healthcare provider fills out. I know that they wanted the original copy. I know when we got to the embassy, we had received an email copy from our children's healthcare provider, and we brought that down with us.
Yes.
What they
everything
wanted,
original.
yeah,
Everything
original. They want to see the original signature and all of that. So we actually had to have someone back in Ohio FedEx to us overnight the original medical signed copy, for our children. So just keep that in mind. You know what I mean? But we had, other than that, the process once we got. Even the immigration service booked an appointment for us at South Africa's embassy. The one that we were assigned to was in Washington, D.C., so we did a trip down to D.C. I would say give yourself a few days just in case you have to get something else or have something else taken care of, just to allow yourself that kind of time. And the appointment I was expecting they call it an interview. The formal process is actually an interview, and you turn in your application. And honestly, I think because we had our daughter with us, who you can see in the background,
Here.
and we also have an 11-year-old son, the clerk at the desk, or that was handling the caseworker that was handling our packet, was very nice, and she just kind of looked through our paperwork.
Very nice,
Eh,
very nice.
Very nice.
We were nervous, but
yeah, we were nervous. We were nervous, y'all. Man,
yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
I was like, oh my god.
It
Felt a little intimidating.
it felt intimidating. You go to the embassy, you see a giant statue of Nelson Mandela, and I'm just like feeling nervous. Like I hope
Yeah.
everything goes through. But no, they just
chill.
we came in for our appointment. We had a time we came in. There weren't a lot of people there. There were other people there, mainly South Africans who were renewing their passports, stuff like that. But we sat down and they just simply, the caseworker just kind of went through our packet and told my wife that this all looks good, and she told us she told us that our children's medical form needed to be the original copy.
So there's some stuff. The way America runs and certain things is not the same here. For example, banks in America don't usually, most banks don't stamp don't do stamps anymore, right? So we were concerned about that, but we have Navy Federal. We were able to get them to stamp it.
And so what my
our
wife,
bank statements.
yeah, so what my wife is referring to is that you have to provide bank statements.
Yeah, to
of
prove your
pay-
income.
The proof as proof of income, and so they
Yeah.
wanted,
3 months.
yeah, they wanted.
And each one had to be stamped. So at first the bank was like, no, we don't do stamp. I don't know what that is. But we went go into the bank and talk to someone, and I think they'll be able to help with that area. And the other thing is, most of our medical stuff is emailed to us. So it is just when you're getting your medical record, make sure you tell them you want the original copy. You do not want it emailed. You don't want it photocopied and faxed. You want they want to see it's real ink on there.
Right.
So make sure you get that. So I would advise that because we did that little boo boo. But great thing, our friend was there. She went to that office, got the original, and just sent it overnight to the embassy, and we were good because they got there the next day.
And I was told that the process would take about 3 weeks. So I guess in my mind,
They said
I was
3 to 6 online, I think it is 4 to 6 or something like that. But the lady, everyone, even the law firm we use, plus the immigration lady at the where we did our interview, they
adamant.
said, yeah, they were adamant of three
that it would take about 3 weeks. So lo and behold, I mean, exactly 3 weeks later, we receive in our mail our passports. As you have to submit your passport with our visa stamp. So they were very punctual. I have to say that I was quite impressed with how
we were
quick.
nervous a little bit as the time was getting closer.
Oh, of course.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I even reached out and stuff. So when we got it, it's stamped. We went on the 30th. Our interview was on June 30th, and it was stamped the 22nd of July.
Yeah.
Exactly 3 weeks.
Exactly.
So
3
they're
weeks.
pretty quick. I would advise, if you are assigned to the DC area, get as close as possible to the embassy because there's no parking. There's absolutely no parking.
Meaning stay in a hotel
Yeah.
close to the embassy because there's really no
Yes.
parking there.
No parking
You're gonna
whatsoever.
be doing Uber or walking, so you want to be. We were on I think the street they call Embassy Row, so there's a bunch of embassies over there and everything else. But
Yeah.
I have to say that it was a pretty good process. I was quite impressed.
Yeah.
And so this is just we just want to encourage you all just to give you a little bit of insight about what the process looks like a bit.
And if you have any questions, just put your request down in the bottom. We'll be as transparent as we're going to be transparent, but not every information we can verbally share. But what we can, we definitely will. I really encourage everyone to take the chance, take the leap, especially right now with America being kind of very questionable. I would say, take a leap of faith and just jump and do it. I don't think you'll regret it. Just make sure you have your ducks in order. There is some planning, self-planning, and I think our next video we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about discovery tour. I mean, doing discovery trips and things like that.
And just planning when you get back home, how to really plan it out so that you are organized and ready to make the move, and what you need to do if you have to increase your income, stuff like that, just to be able to do whichever visa you're desiring to do. We don't have too much in-depth of visas besides the one that we did, but we can get some information as well.
Yeah, we can try to
and
get that
stuff.
information
Yeah.
for
So our next video, I think we're just going to talk about what exactly we did to prepare.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's really it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's what we got so far for you guys. I hope you all are blessed and enjoyed watching our channel. And if you like, hit the like button and subscribe.
Subscribe, and press that bell.
And share, please.
Please, because
Okay.
we're planning to do as much as possible to share as much as information as possible as well.
Okay. Well, take care and God bless. Bye-bye.